What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Let's Play Hiveswap Friendsim for the third time. I have a third playthrough of Hiveswap Friendsim, in which instead of playing by myself or sending photos to a friend, I'm making a commentary YouTube series out of it. Because it's 2020, by the time this episode comes out, Hiveswap Act 2 should be out. I'll probably have played it at least once, if not multiple times. And fuck it, it's 2020. Things are weird. You know, may as well return to our roots. Potential spoiler warning for Homestuck proper, this game, Pesterquest, Hiveswap Act 1, because I'm recording this about a week before Act 2 comes out. I obviously can't give Act 2 spoilers yet. Some Homestuck fanfics, maybe, who knows. I'm just out of jokes for Homestuck 2 and the epilogues. I haven't read them. As far as I know, I probably never will. So, no need to worry about spoilers from those. Character voices may be inconsistent. I think Boulder's episode may have been kind of shaky because I was too close to my regular voice. But today is Stelsa, and she has a very fun voice. So let's get to it. Blah, 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 friendship, blah. Stelsa! Oh, Tessius is in this one too! I'm pretty sure she shows up. Anyway, gays. Or maybe she doesn't show up, maybe she just mentioned. I don't know, let's find about acid rain, guys. Whoops. I meant to pause and I almost hit stop. Sorry, give me a second. I shouldn't have paused. Anyway. Okay, so turns out, stealing a car was easily one of your better impulse decisions. You've gotten accustomed enough to its weird insides by now that its squishiness doesn't much faze you anymore. It still feels like the warm stomach of some giant creature, but as you find it kind of comforting. You can just let yourself get enveloped by the seat while the autopilot does its thing. Getting ferried through the streets of Alternia with your feet up on the dash sure beats endlessly pounding the pavement. Sometimes you even throw Strava's stream on your phone if you really want to get a chill vibe going. You're surprised that you haven't been caught yet, dastardly carjacker that you are. Maybe you're just a better thief than you always thought. A possible career change to look into if you ever get back to Earth. The downside is it's a little difficult for you to further your goal of gathering even more friendship from inside a vehicle, so you'd park the scuttle buggy and expose yourself to the menaces of the outside world once more. You're in what looks like some sort of residential neighborhood. It isn't as nice as the blue blood neighborhoods you've seen, but still nice enough that for most of the apartment complexes to have imposing locked front gates and security drones. But of course, you can't take a leisurely stroll in Alternia without something terrible happening. You aren't out here for very long before it starts raining. Shit, damn, and fuck. You ditched the umbrella Torona had given you since it was heavy as a goddamn club, and now you're super regretting it. Running for shelter is all you can do, so you make a mad dash for one of the building awnings, huddling uncomfortably beneath it. The rain doesn't let up. You'll have to move soon. The security drones are beginning to look at you like they're planning on taking a few shots at you for loitering. You know, sometimes it happens. Sometimes you just get murdered. You need to make a decision and fast. I think we die if we try to run back to the scuttle buggy, so let's try to run back to the scuttle buggy. It's parked a ways away down the street, but if you run fast enough, you might be able to make it. You bend in security of the metal awning, launching yourself back into the minor apocalypse that is regular Alternian weather. You should have been able to guess how this was going to go. The raindrops are too dense for you to successfully dodge them all, and your delicate human body isn't built to withstand nuclear-ass rain. Probably would have had better luck with the security drones. Well, that didn't work. Is that the regular amount of teeth a human has? I guess their bone is also one giant, or their hand is one giant bone. I keep looking at a chat I don't need to be looking at right now, because I don't need to. I'm so tired. It's what I'm saying. But I am excited to actually meet Stelsa, so you know what? We melted in the acid rain, let's get a better head start. By try to get into one of the buildings. And stretch. If you're wondering, yes, this is directly after I recorded my Boulder episode. There's no way you're getting into any of these without a passcode. But wait, you think you see someone coming your way? Perhaps they'll be your knight in shining armor? I know what her voice sounds like in my head, but I forgot to figure out how to vocalize that. Okay, I do actually have to pause to take care of something. So, hey, that actually turned out to be not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And now I'm more excited. And actually, before... Hey guys. Did you know I'm tired today? And I'm having a weird... just... time, I guess. So you guys... my readers far in the future, I can't guarantee you're going to be the first people to see this image, because I'm probably going to end up sending it to some friends before this episode comes out, but give me just a moment to pause again, switch some tabs around. But this is a, oh, you can't see them very well. This is a novel that my mom is making for me, and I don't think I've ever shown, actually, while I have Chrome open, fuck it, let's look at Claire. Look at Claire. Look at them. They don't have wings yet. The doll doesn't have wings yet. My monster is going to come back to that. But this is Claire. This wonderful... I'll put arrows around them in post. This is Claire. They are my D&D character. They are a mutant bronze blood, Knight of Breath. I love them very much. And I'm going to have a custom doll of them pretty soon. So that's fun. And let's actually get back to the reason we're here. So what you're telling me is that my appointment is cancelled. There we go. That's it. That's what her voice is. You're still some distance away, but she's looking right at you. You point at yourself questioningly, thinking that she might be talking to you, but then you realize she's wearing a Bluetooth headset. Jeremy used to be so in the ball. Remember the time he gave me a full-pronged beautifying procedure right after that highblood ripped his arm off? But now he can't bounce back from a little pressure in the abdominal sausages. What happened? That boy is losing his touch. Looks like she's coming back from a jog, if the running shorts are anything to go by. If she's at all bothered by the acid glancing off her skin, sending dozens of little firecracker sparks in their wake, she isn't showing it. She's much more preoccupied by the harried conversation she's having on the phone. Most importantly, she's power walked to the entrance of this building, which must mean she lives here. This is your chance. You shuffle along under the awning, pressing yourself close to the side of the building, bug-like. You sort of wish she encountered you earlier when you were dodging rain like a rad action hero. Now you just look sort of cowardly and pathetic. Especially compared to her. She's striding along like absolutely nothing is getting in the way of whatever business she's got going on, let alone a few paltry explosions. Actually, she's so focused on her call that she doesn't notice you until you're standing right next to her. Such inconvenience. You can fully expect that I'll be taking my business elsewhere from now on. Oh, wait. Oh my, what do we have here? She transitions from hanging up the call to talking to you so quickly that it makes your head spin. Take this down. Strange little homeless creature parked in front of my very home, very puny and scared looking. Can only be the alien everyone has been talking about. Such an opportunity can't go to waste now, can it? Okay, that actually cheered me up. I can't believe Stelsa is going to be the thing that makes this afternoon worth existing in. I love her. I do think she's great. Except Rebellion from the Empire, Stelsa. Anyway, you're confused again, looking around to see who she might be talking to, but there's nobody else here. Maybe she's dictating notes to her phone? Look at you, we can't have you wandering around this outside. I keep messing up. Look at you, we can't have you wandering around outside like this, darling, can we? Aren't you ravishing? Give me the name of your stylist. So good to meet you. Here's my card. The name's Stelsa Caesar, terrier in training for the Alternia Empire. Nice to meet you. Let's walk and talk. You didn't realize that the borrowed hoodie was that impressive of a look, but okay. She produces a business card with one hand and then puts some numbers into a panel with the other. You take the card. If you struggle to process what she's saying, respond to her questions, and introduce yourself, all while experiencing the verbal equivalent of getting hit by a truck. How is it possible to talk so fast without taking a breath? You can barely get a word in edgewise. Fun fact, if I'm remembering, well, I should have answered that question. If I'm remembering my drama class correctly, yes, I took drama. It was only 1 year. 1 year on a club the year after. I've talked about my school before. I had a whack school. You tend, from what I can remember from drama class, if you're thinking about it, you tend to take in the amount of breath that you're going to need for your thought. So I'm sorry, Stelsa. Stelsa is just thinking at 1,000,000 miles an hour. The bitch got ADHD. It happens. This entire fucking planet does. Stelsa continues chattering away as she steps inside and waits for you to follow her into the apartment building's elevator. You do. I love the elevator effects. So do tell me, do you run any business on your planet? If you do, I'd be more than happy to offer my services. They are very efficient and affordable, I can assure you. All your legal and financial documents will be checked over in no time. We'll make sure everything is running at tip-top shape. I'm so happy to have run into you. Ever since Zuzi told me she met you, I've been asking her to introduce me. It is so very important for a professional to continue growing her network, especially intergalactically, don't you agree? She's still busying herself with her phone while talking to you, texting on its tiny keyboard now. The name ZZ doesn't ring any bells. You flip through the Rolodex in your brain, trying to remember. Have you really made so many friends that you're beginning to forget their names? I'm a little impressed with yourself. Feels like only yesterday that you were crawling around the basement of a murderess and getting stabbed in the shin with a screwdriver. Just a single friend to your name. Good times. You've come far so far since then. Brings a single sentimental tear to your eye. Wait. Stelsa's own name finally starts to register. You've heard it before. This is Tyzeus' mate spread, so she must be talking about Tyzeus. Murderous is stabbing, very fascinating stuff, I'm sure. Yes, I'm referring to my darling Tyzeus, of course. You're at the door to her hive. She unlocks it, letting you both in. I need a breather from her. I'm so fucking scatterbrained today. I'm sorry. This is a whack-ass episode. Okay, we're gonna take you into her room. Her room is fantastic. Tyzeus has left his sweater here. She has a book on her treadmill. That grub looks like Tavros. Up in the corner. I'll put arrows in post, don't worry about it. I find the image of the sun, the sun rising over the mountains and an alternia house really funny, because the sun kills people in this world. Excuse me. Her filing cabinets are great. Stelsa would exhaust me as a person, but I love her anyways. Come in. Welcome to Chez Savant. Make yourself at home. Can I get you anything? Water, grub cake, my right sheet? I would love to continue our chat while I am a little less sweaty. Also, acid records absolute havoc on the skin. You know how it is. I'll just jump into the evolution trap for a minute. Please excuse me. It won't be long. Back in shoe shakes or crack piece gastric evacuation pillow. Actually, you wouldn't know how it is, considering that a bucket load of acid falling on you would leave you very injured or very dead, and she's already gone. You're a little relieved. It's not that Stelsa isn't friendly. She's plenty friendly. She's just approaches friendship in a way that makes you feel a little like a line on a to-do list that she's in a hurry to check off. Or, well, she seems like she wants you as some sort of work contact, not friend, but that's okay. You've worn many hats in the pursuit of friendship. Clown cultist, impromptu shoosh-papper, murder accomplice. Business associate is one of the tamer ones on the list. We've already been asked to be a Teal's business partner. Or Tagora's. Oh, that's not a treadmill. That's it. What the fuck is that? Anyway. Now that you no longer have to keep up with her mile-a-minute conversation, you can take a proper look around her hive. Like all these sticky notes in this calendar. You're not sure which more perturbing, the sheer amount of pink that's accosting your eyeballs, or the fact that everything is so painstakingly organized it's making you a little uncomfortable. Like you're merely standing here is disrupting the careful order of the room. Her shelves are crammed full of books, all neatly arranged according to topic, with each topic displayed on a little label on the shelf. She also has a lot of posters featuring motivational slogans underneath striking nature photography. The only normal-looking spot in the hive is the coffee table with a mishmash of personal belongings piled on top of it. Books, papers, a jacket. You think there might be a mug? None of those items strike you as being particularly Stelsa style. The overall effect is that of a very pink, very neat office cubicle. You almost feel like you should start chugging mediocre coffee and complaining about how much you hate Mondays. So sorry to have kept you waiting. Stelsa re-emerges, her hair wrapped in a towel. She looks like she'd give good hugs. Don't ask me why. I think she'd give good hugs. Well, it's been a blast getting to know you. We should get lunch sometime. You and the conversation going up. I messed that up. Well, it's been a blast getting to know you. We should get to lunch sometime. Keep the conversation going. I'll pinch you in, darling. But for now, I have a bit of a dilemma to deal with. That sounds worryingly like a dismissal. You sneak a glance at the schedule on her bulletin board. It's a blaze of color with barely any free slots. You don't want to be penciled in. You have no idea when she might be available next, and you need her sweet, sweet friendship now. Maybe whatever problem she has is something you can help with? Unless you're a ludicrous interpretation, I think not. My usual place bumped me off the list and right before a very important meeting, too. A girl has to look her best for these things and really knock their socks off. If I want to make arrangements at another salon, I shall have to move fast, no time to waste. Why not use the extra time to do more prep for the meeting? That is an excellent idea! I visited this potential client's establishment a while ago, but it was a quick one. I could do well to cast my gathered bulbs around the place properly. It's pretty much in the bag with this meeting. It's essential, and there's no way I can flub it. Having Remily now, because a client would be too good of a cluck piece pull my lid from being chucked the opportunity in the load gave her. Remily, you totally know her. How about that? Yes, I would hope you did, darling. She's only been splashed all over the papers lately with that stunt of hers. Buying out her competitor like that, I've never heard the likes of it before. She's flitting around her hive as she speaks, snipping into what you assume is her bedroom to blow her hair dry before shuffling some papers into a handbag. You tell her as best you can, feeling a little bit like a pet cat underfoot who's threatening to trip her at every turn. Maintaining a career as a successful yet relevantly avant-garde artist is very different, so to assume the ownership of managing a museum that she has made it work. Whoa! Sounds like Remily has been busy since the last time you saw her. You clarified that Remily is a friend of yours, actually. Stelsa stops in her tracks. She stopped to do anything. Really? Why didn't you say so in the first place? You should come with me. Getting a full one from Remily from a friend of hers could really give me a frond up. What do you say? You're not sure there's much you can tell Stelsa about Remily. You're pretty sure Remily doesn't want an auditor in training, or, well, anyone, really, knowing she's an art thief. But, why not? There has to be some stray info about Remily knocking around the old noggin that might come in useful. Is that how I pronounced her name last time? I don't know. Marvelous! Come on, you can help me on the way. She takes your hand and pulls you out the door. You offer Stelsa a ride, and you're totally not stolen Scuttlebuggy. It's still raining, but she shields you both with an umbrella that's almost as big as you are to walk where it's parked. You get in, put on some tunes for the road, and head off. Oh yeah, this is the first time we get to see the inside of the Scuttlebuggy! I love it. I love their Scuttlebuggy. Look at, there's a little dude. Shit, it was the wrong button. There's a little dude on here that's so cute. I love the background design in this game, and I can't wait to see more of it in Act 2, and I'm so tired. Y'all. Once you're on your way, you admit to Stelsa that most of your and Remily's conversations just involve her bouncing ideas off you for her webcomic, but you're still happy to answer any questions she might have about Remily's overall deal. You're expecting her to be disappointed, but her eyes practically light up. What a privilege! To be completely truthful, I'm quite the fan I have been following her webcomic for a while. She admits this kind of sheepishly. Does she think that liking comics is embarrassing? Of course not! Okay, maybe a little. It seems irresponsible to spend time on something as flippant as a comic on the internet when I have so much other business to attend. Lots of iron to the fire here. Achievements don't achieve themselves, you know. Baby. But hobbies and downtime are important too. You never feel more rested than after you've let yourself do absolutely nothing but enjoy a good comic. I don't really read comics. That's true. I read Back, which is a webcomic that is very good. And I'll probably link because I mentioned it now. You should check it out. What? She looks at you blankly. You know, rest. Oh, just make sure to get up for recuperation every day. No concerns there, to be sure. What you're talking about is a bit different from getting enough sleep. Maybe try with a different tact. Why is she taking this job with Remley anyway? Isn't she busy enough with her training? Well, sure, I have that internship with the alternative government as well, but there can be never enough experience under one's belt. You're beginning to see what the problem is. You get the feeling that Stelsa might be a bit of a workaholic. Just vaguely. Has she ever considered... You're so involved in trying to convince Stelsa of the merits of getting her to chill on... I read that wrong, my bad. You're so involved in trying to convince Stelsa of the merits of getting her chill on that you don't realize there's anything wrong. Not until Stelsa lets out a screech that almost bursts your eardrums. That says we can't go this way, there's road work happening here! The scuttlebug must be operating with an outdated map! Switch it to manual and turn us around, quick, quick! The roadwork Stelsa referring to is a bridge with a do not enter sign hastily put up. Behind the sign, the bridge is peppered with enormous holes. Some look big enough for the entire car to fall through. Easily. What are you waiting for? Hurry! Well, there's one small problem. You can't drive. Oh, fudge nuggets! Stelsa presses a few buttons, switching the controls to manual. You grab the wheel, turning it wildly, your only goal to make sure that you don't drive onto the death bridge. You probably should have paid attention to the steep slope curving away from the road. Okay, it is the same background. There's blood on the... Sorry, there's blood on the windshield. I didn't notice that before. There's blood on it. Anyway, you both yell as a Okay, sorry, I was checking again. You both yell as the scuttlebuggy neumes downwards at full tilt. Miraculously, it doesn't tip, but it does slam into a power line, sending the two of you lurching forward. If it wasn't for the unnervingly lung-like airbags that inflate in front of you, you would have shot out the front window. Anxiously, you ask if Stelsa is okay. Stelsa doesn't seem too concerned about whether she's injured or not, just making a futile attempt to push the airbags out of the way so she can get out of the car. There's no way we'll make a meeting on time now, and I look an absolute mess. She's right. Her hair, which was all gentle, soft tufts before, is sticking up in all directions, and her glasses have been smashed in the collision. Why did I think this was a good idea? I should have just walked. Thanks for nothing. The car might have survived the crash, but if Stelsa's cranky expressions ain't to go by, your budding friendship with her wasn't as lucky. Fashion faux pas. Is that how you say that? Faux pas? Also, okay, so it does have fucking legs. Why does the car need legs? I guess if the terrain is weird, the car would need legs. Also, Stelsa, go get medical attention! Also, the reader has no... The reader... I don't think we ever see the reader bleed. It's implied and it's talked about, but it's never said. I don't know. Hi, I paused for a second there. Sorry to pause so much during it. You know what? It's just I should put that in the fucking warning. I mean, we're almost done with the series, so it's almost too late. But I should put in the warnings like, say, sometimes I fucking pause the video for who knows how long. I keep thinking my cat is outside, even though I know he's not because the catio's been closed all day. Anyway, who needs a beautician? You're around. Oh, that's right. This one has multiple bad endings, I think. You've absolutely done professional beauty experience. But Sarava did give you the crash course in crafting great looks. Stelsa is probably after a vibe that's a little less moisture wave, but you're sure you can whip something up. You tell her that you'll help her get ready instead, right here in her hive. Ooh, how nice you've never had a house call before. Let's do this. Fun fact. This actually was the inspiration. Stelsa's recruitment code was actually the inspiration for a piece of art I did for Claire, because their dream self was murdered. I'll let you make deductions and go look at my DeviantArt, because my URL was in one of those screenshots. Also, that's the side list. How have I not realized that before? That's my boy! Down there in the... I always use my hand to point like you can see what I'm doing. That's my boy in the corner. She leads you into the next room, rubbing her hair dry as she goes. There's a Recuperacoon in one corner and a vanity in the other, with an array of poofs, brushes, and other mysterious implements spread out on its surface. Some of them are disturbingly pointy. Oh, well. You're surely able to figure them out figure out what they're all for once you start using them. Look at her. Stelsa takes a seat in the chair in front of the vanity, folding her hands firmly in her lap. So, darling, what do you think we should do first? It's all up to you. Not this again. What are you always making all the decisions around here? You wouldn't give people to foist your own life choices off on random people you just met. It would be refreshing. Hi, welcome back. Oh, that's right. We fucking... We're going to polish her horns. You pick up a velvety piece of cloth, bringing it up to Stelsa's head. That can only be one thing this could be for, right? Wait, what are you doing with that? Polish her horns to an impressive sheen, of course. They'll be positively gleaming by the time you're done with them. She grabs your wrist with one hand before you can do so. She's deceptively strong, holding you in such an ironclad grip that you can't move your arm at all. You'd low-key been admiring her toned arms earlier, but now you know for sure that the rack of hot pink dumbbells in the living room aren't just for show. Instead of looking pleased with what you proposed to do, she looks uneasy. Possibly even a little embarrassed? Polish my... You barely get a glimpse of her discomforted expression before she's gracing with another friendly smile, albeit a bit of a strained one. You know, I'm thinking of having second thoughts. It would be reasonable... Let's start over. It's reasonable to expect that an alien like you wouldn't know the first thing about troll grooming habits. My mistake, I should have accounted for such cultural differences. But it's quite alright, I shall figure something else out. Is it just you, or was there a pointed pause before cultural differences? She's getting up again. Wait, what's happening? You thought the two of you were going to bond over a sweet makeover session, but she's pushing you back out in the main area of her hive. Pretty forcefully, too. Thank you for offering your help, dear. So very kind of you, but I'll manage. Curious to meet you. Just wonderful. You can call me. Take care. Have a nice life. Toodles. Goodbye. Shoots you another lovely I can't fucking talk today. She shoots you another lovely, yet very clearly fake smile and shoves you out the door. You'll be able to wait out the rain just fine in this hallway. Being sprawled on your ass and Stelsa's welcome mat all bare and lonesome just isn't the same as hanging with a new friend. Oh, game over. We've accidentally... You know, the jokes write themselves. Fill in the blank with your preferred punchline. Also, why is Stelsa so sharp? Her teeth are so pointy. So we're going to style her hair instead. We're a little pointy. The first order of business should be drying Stelsa's hair. You pick up a little funnel-shaped doohickey that looks like it might be a hairdryer. Excuse me, fumbling around for a button. There isn't one, but you manage to turn it on by giving it a good squeeze. The mouth of the funnel opens up wide, emitting a hot blast of air along with a hoarse animal yell. You think you might actually see teeth inside? Just don't think about it too much. That's the best you can do when it comes to literally any alternian gadget. Thankfully, the noise soon fades to a low hum. There, use this! Stelsa passes you a piece of thorny bramble. It looks painful, but when you begin brushing Stelsa's hair, she sighs happily. Interesting being in this position for once. When Tessius is over, usually I'm the one doing this. It's so cute to think about. I'm just having like steady sleepovers, and Stelsa's just like, "Hi, I'm gonna comb your hair," and Tessius is like, "Okay, I love you." Anyway, you try to imagine Tessius letting someone give her a sweet do. Even when it's her girlfriend in question, you have a hard time picturing it. Stelsa laughs. She has a surprisingly pretty musical laugh. No, my dear Zizi isn't one for involved beauty rituals. She just doesn't let me do it more than just brush it out, but it's still relaxing. Sliding the brush through Stelsa's hair is pretty relaxing. You allow yourself to zen out for a moment before shaking yourself out of it, casting around for something to talk about. That's what good hairdressers do, right? Strike up casual conversation. Remember when we could go outside and talk to hairdressers? I actually haven't been to a hairdresser in years. Has it been almost 3 years now, actually? So like 3 years ago-ish, I had like a bob or like shoulder length hair for years. And like 3 years ago, yeah, 3 years ago, I cut off pretty much all my hair. I shaved the sides, and then I gave myself I didn't give myself an undercut. I got an undercut, cut all my hair off, and I had been dyeing it red for 5 years now. If you've ever seen a picture of me, yeah. I have been dyeing at home for several years, because it's cheaper than going to a salon. And the color comes out pretty alright. And I've been growing out the top, so I don't really need to go get like a cut or anything. Anyway, coming back from my life story. Yes. Your eyes fall on an open book sitting on the table. It's the only object there that doesn't have anything to do with hair care or beauty, so it stands out like a sore thumb. Just like the items on the coffee table, it's strewn too haphazardly to look like it belongs to Stelsa. You'd think you see some of the tabs Tazias was using on the notes for her group project. And if you look even closer, you think you catch the words revolt and history in the page header. Right. As Tazias' mate Stelsa probably has big plans for dismantling the system inside too after he becomes an auditor. The reader almost gets Stelsa arrested for crimes. Even though we should be committing crimes against the Empire and the state. I'll let you decide. Just kidding. It's Black Lives Matter. All cops are bastards. The system needs to be torn down and rebuilt. Anyway, you remark that you think it's really cool what she and Tazias are doing. It might be scary to stick it to the man like that, but someone has to do it. Okay, it's not exactly light conversation, but talking about Tazias about this had been really enlightening, if sad, and you really bonded over it. Maybe it would have bonded with Stelsa the same way. But Stelsa only looks confused. Then her eyes flicked out into the book for just for a second before she reaches out, smartly shaps it shut, and squirrels it away in one of the drawers. The sound of the drawer slamming makes you jump, and you narrowly avoid pulling Stelsa's hair. I'm quite sure I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not sticking anything anywhere. Definitely not to any man. And neither is Tazias. She's sitting up straight and tense in the chair now, her voice soaring to a high, bordering on hysterical pitch. Oh no. She probably doesn't know you're on their side. Tazias might not have told her about your conversation. It's okay, we're not going to tell anyone. You're sworn to secrecy. But Stelsa averts her eyes, a stubborn set to her chin. Again, I have no idea what you're talking about, not a single clue. Tazias and myself are both law-abiding subjects of the Empire. We don't dabble in such foolish things as sympathizing with rebels. What would that possibly accomplish? She wrings her hands distractedly. Oh, her watch is shaped like a little cat. Oh, that's adorable. We do things the way we do an alternia for a reason, darling. Without the human spectrum and the roles we each need to play, why, the world would be plunged into complete chaos. Can you even imagine? Trolls running around, not knowing which way is up and doing whatever they please, no one to tell them what their place in the world is. She goes from hand-wringling to gesticulating wildly, almost knocking a row of jars off the table, positively frantic at the prospect of societal breakdown. It's better for everyone this way. I truly believe that. You're beginning to realize you might have put your foot in your mouth. Just a little bit. Stuff a toe or two in that gob of yours, maybe. She sounds way too earnest for this to be a cover-up. Could it be possible that Stelsa really does side with what had Tazias called her the Condus? And that she doesn't know about Tazias' underground research after all, but the book was right there. You're so confused. Talking about this is clearly distressing Stelsa, though, so you drop it, focusing on finishing up her hair instead. It's pretty soft now that it's dry. You're not sure that you styled it correctly, but she seems pleased. Great work, nice job. Great work, nice, fantastic, you did an excellent job. You glow with the praise. You'd say thanks, but she's already passing you a bottle of nail polish. So you really want you to go all the way, huh? Twist it open and get to work. I love painting my nails. Just so you know, I love painting my nails. I actually have Beta Kid nails right now. So on one hand I have dark purple on my thumb, and then Rose and Dave themes on my fingers, and the other one I have a Prospect yellow thumb. I'm showing you my fingers, you can't see them. And I have a June and Jade fingers, depending on how you feel. You're too focused on not smudging the teal color over the stately points of her claws to talk, but Stelsa breaks the silence. I have a question for you. You nod, shaking your tongue out in concentration. So I have this acquaintance. This is the most tentative you heard her so far. You weren't sure her vocal cords were capable of it. They are in a quadrant with someone who harbors views most would consider subversive, if not outright treasonous. She's obviously talking about herself and Theseus, but you don't want to point that out in case she gets upset again. So you just nod along thoughtfully. She didn't always... the matesprit, I mean. It will blow over at some point. She must be just going through a difficult phase. But in the meantime, she can do so much trouble. Stelsa's lower lip wobbles like she's about to cry. It's you on the inside of your cheek trying to figure out what to say. Talking to Theseus very much did not leave you with the impression that it was a phase. She sounded pretty serious. Does Stelsa's friend have any idea that this is going on? I think I mentioned this. I think we talked about this in the Theseus episode, and I think I've mentioned it a couple times since, because I'm constantly thinking about this fact. But... I mean, all of Hiveswap, from what I can remember, is dubiously canon. It's, you know, that weird situation where, like, it is, but it isn't. But it is. And I'm just thinking, like, if this is, at least this part, if these trolls existed, maybe not necessarily having met any humans, just these trolls, then, like, if Damek and Zephyros and the other, I mean, I'm sure we're going to meet more of the rebellion, if they existed, they will not have met good ends. Almost guaranteed, because either they're shipped off to space before they can make any change, or they're caught trying to make change and cold. And something about that is just... because there's not even talk of rebellion in Homestuck. I mean, we don't spend that much time on Alternia before, you know, it dies and so does the universe, but... I don't know. That's my Alternia thought for this video, I guess. She looks at the drawer. So do you. Nope. You resist the urge to massage your temples. No idea at all. Absolutely not. Alright, you can do this. A good first step might be for her friend to face up to the issue. You know, if there's a chance they might have the tiniest inkling about what might be happening, so the two of them can talk about it. Talk about it? Yeah? You're no expert, but open discussion probably helps with relationship problems quite a bit. Plus, if you ruminate to yourself, the more you think about it, the less it seems like Theseus was leaving her controversial book out like that was an accident. It was right in front of Stelsa's chair, after all. Maybe Theseus wanted Stelsa to see it. He slicked the last bit of color onto Stelsa's pinky claw a while ago, but you're both too wrapped up in the conversation to suggest that you move on to something else. She lets the polish dry while the two of you continue to talk. You have a top coat. But my friend does not agree with her mate's sentiments. Discussing would just cause unnecessary friction, wouldn't it? Maybe, but even so, addressing the issue is probably better than pretending it isn't there. Excuse me. Besides, squadron mates can coexist regardless of differing beliefs, right? You know, this game came out in 2020, or not 2020. It's 2020 now. This came out in like 2018, and some of the stuff it says feels way too much like 2020. Yeah, You don't sound convincing even to yourself, but the platitudes seem to comfort Stelsa somewhat. Excuse me if you just heard that noise. Maybe you're right. Carefully, mindful of her just dried nails, she wipes a few tears, much to your horror. Is that the wrong thing to say? Then you notice that she's smiling. I have not spoken about that to anyone before now. Telling you about it was truly load up my belly-sack cavity. I am certain my friend will be grateful as well, as I shall relay your advice accordingly as soon as I can. You smile back at her weakly. You haven't been able to relate very much when it comes to alternative life, but boy, can you relate to relationship drama. And trolls sure seem to have plenty of it. You hope everything turns out alright. For her friend. Since her voice is all sniffly and her eyelashes still wet, you retrieve a frilly box of hand tissues and hold it out to her, hoping that will help. She pulls out a few and blows her nose on them with a sad, honking noise. Must she finish getting ready? She seems reluctant to get up, though. You'd probably be the same, knowing you had to head into serious business meeting after spilling her heart like that. Experiencing emotions is tiring. Eventually, though, Stelsa musters up enough energy to get to her feet. Much to her surprise, instead of immediately rushing off to complete her next pre-meeting task, she pulls you into a tight hug. I told you she'd be a good hugger. Thank you. You're a real friend. And there it is. Not colleague, not potential client, but that wonderful friendship word. Friends forever. Look at her. Look at her. She's sweet. She just doesn't want Theseus to get hurt. When will someone love me like that? So that was that video. Stelsa's episode, I should say. She's not just a video. She's a very lovely character. I'm having an interesting day. I have class in an hour. I keep thinking I'm hearing the laundry go off. But that was a great episode. Hiveswap 2 is out. Like I said, if my calculations are correct, Hiveswap 2 should it's called Hiveswap 2. Should be out by the time this episode comes out. Which means, so I'm still debating whether or not I want to do the Act 2 playthrough before or after my Pesterquest one. If you have an opinion on that, feel free to let me know. We're still a couple of volumes away from the ending of this one, and I'm going to do a Hiveswap Act 1 playthrough, which will probably do a couple different, like one or two, I mean, probably like at least two episodes. I might do one or two different playthroughs, just to kind of get a feel for the land. I will see you in the next, actually, you know what, while we're still here, I'm pretty sure it's Marcy. Yeah, it's Marcy and Carrico next time, so that'll be fun. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!